A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
The NHT has boosted construction loan limits to 11 million for one applicant and up to 23 million for 3 co-applicants. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the office of the Prime Minister is...
It's 9:06.
You're inside the Consumer Hour.
Good morning. Welcome to the Consumer Hour. I am Siobhan Campbell. I'm sitting in for Norgay Banton, who is on vacation. Good morning to you, wherever you are in the world, and good morning specifically to you, or YouTubers, on Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. And good morning to those joining us on the FM band on the 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, or 90.9. And a special good morning to you if you are joining us on the Nationwide app. Good morning to you, Eric Townsend, SH, KTW, Herman, good to see you again, Earl Townsend, Albert Morgan. It is a good morning to you all. Well, today on Consumer Hour, it's Immigration Mondays, where we take your questions and concerns about visiting or emigrating to the United States or Canada. So, as usual, we are joined by U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee, and Canadian Immigration Consultant Nadine Mahabir joins us in studio. Good morning, Nadine.
Good morning, Chevron. It's very nice to meet you. Good morning, Miss Lee, and of course, good morning to our wonderful listeners and viewers. I hope you guys didn't party too much on the weekend.
It's good to see you too, Opal.
Good morning, Siobhan. Good morning, Nadine. Good morning to our wonderful and loyal listeners and viewers. Happy Monday.
It is a happy Monday indeed. But before we hop into the program today, are there any updates regarding new immigration policies in either the United States and Canada? We'll start with you, Opal. Go ahead.
All right, sure. So there is, beginning, is it September 2nd? The Department of State has announced that they're going to make a lot of changes to its visa interview process for those who are outside the United States, maybe entering for a visiting visa or trying to apply for a visiting visa. Usually, certain people are waived from doing an interview. They're saying they're going to limit that. So most people, if you're going to be renewing your visa or applying for your visa for the first time, you can certainly expect an interview, even if you're under the age of 14 and over the age of 79. These age groups, they usually waive it, but now they're saying beginning September 2nd, they will not be waiving it. The other thing of concern is that USCIS, that was for the Department of State, right? Now the USCIS has also, over the weekend or last week, made an announcement that they're making several changes to the immigrant application process. So those who are in the United States and you're applying to adjust your status, and you need to file that I-130, that immigrant petition. You have a family member or maybe work or employer who's filing that for you. Big problems. If you are removable, they're making it very clear. They're going to be putting you in removal proceedings. So who does this affect? Let's say you're not eligible to file an I-485 to get the green card. And I've done a lot of these I-130, standalone I-130, for people who may have entered without inspection years ago, and they need to do what's called consular processing. So we would normally file an I-601A, which is to forgive them, basically it's an application to waive or forgive them for their past, for the inadmissibility of them entering without inspection. And so we would have normally filed a standalone I-130. Once that is approved, which normally would have no problem, they could even go to an interview here in the US if it's deemed necessary, because sometimes those interviews are usually waived. But once the I-130 is approved, then we would have filed the I-601A to forgive you for your unlawful presence. And then if that is approved, then I will tell my clients, okay, it's now safe for you to go back to Jamaica or wherever your country of origin is to apply for the visa there with, no problem, unless you had something that you had not, you had lied to me about, or you had some other inadmissibility was not waived. Now, the bad part is that's a no-go. Well, a lot of people are going to be worried about doing that now, because if you file that I-130, even if you go to the interview, one, they may take you into custody, or two, they may go ahead and put you in removal proceedings. If you're now in removal proceedings, it's a very expensive proceedings to be in. This is where you're going before a judge. And now, as an immigration attorney, we're going to have to now apply to close those administratively close the proceedings and put it back over to USCIS. Or you're just going to maybe have to take the deportation, or maybe apply for a voluntary departure. But the bottom line is it gets a little bit more technical. So the bottom line is you're worried now about not only being placed in removal proceedings, but the daunting task of facing being arrested. So this is not the time to be doing it on your own. Please seek competent legal advice, immigration legal advice, or assistance with this.
Interesting. I'm sure we're going to get more into that in the program. But before that, any updates from Canada?
Yes, Siobhan, I have great news. So, Miss Opal, Canada finally opened up the parent and grandparent sponsorship category. Now, starting actually last week. Now, here's the thing, though. The persons who have been sent an invitation to apply is persons who have actually been in the pool from 2020. So they're not accepting new applications of interest. Instead, sorry, I still have a bit of a cold. They're accepting, or they're sending out invitations for persons who have been in the pool from 2020. So if you submitted the notification form or that online information form, and you have been in the pool from 2020, make sure that you check your emails, make sure you check your inbox, your spam folder, because if you missed this is like winning the lottery for your parents, Siobhan. Okay, because unlike the US, the parent sponsorship grandparent category for Canada is not always open. Okay, Immigration Canada only opens this up certain times for the year, normally just once per year, and they're taking persons that are already in the pool. So make sure you check your inbox, your spam folder. They'll be sending out, they started last week, July 28th, and they'll be doing this for the next 2 weeks. And you have until October 9th to submit all of your documents and the application forms. Do not wait until October 9th to be submitting the stuff, because you'll need to complete forms for both your parents as well as the person who is doing the sponsorship. Bear in mind, for the sponsor in Canada, you need to show your income for the last 3 to 4 years. You need to meet the income requirements. And of course, you need to show proof of that as well. So again, great news. Please make sure that you check your mails. I cannot stress this enough. Check your spam folder as well, because you might not get the opportunity again. Thanks, Siobhan.
Very interesting information coming out of both the United States and Canada. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who have some questions about the change in policies in either jurisdiction. So please, Opal, starting with you, could you give us some contact information so people can get in touch with you?
Sure can, thank you. So Opal Lee, the phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That's 876-854-3599. In the United States, it's 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. You may find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Flow Jam Legal, FLOJAMLEGAL. Over to you, Nadine.
Thanks, Opal. For Nadine Meheber, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1-416-249-5885. That's 1-416-249-5885. Our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Thanks, Siobhan.
Okay, and listeners, well, now it's your time. You can either on YouTube present your questions for either Opal or Nadine or both, and you can call in. The numbers are 630-937-124 and 618-8255 if you have any questions about the immigration policies out of the United States or Canada. I have actually one right out the bat. Oh, well, we'll take a break and then we'll come back with your questions.
Home is more than a roof over your head. It's safety, dignity, and pride. This is why the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development continues to build and furnish concrete houses for our most vulnerable through the Indigent Housing Program. Since the program's inception, we have built more than 100 houses and another 45 will be constructed this financial year. We're building sturdy homes for Jamaicans who need it the most. Built strong, built to last. Local government is working for you.
Keep your family in peak condition with Farmer Wormel suspension. Just one dose, it's an easy decision. Choose Farmer Wormel suspension.
Protect your family from intestinal worms with Farmer Wormel. Get the entire household to peak condition just in time for back to school. With just a single dose, Farmer Wormel effectively eliminates worm infestations in all stages, making it the hassle-free solution for both kids and adults.
Just one dose is an easy decision. Choose Farmer Wormel suspension.
Choose Farmer Wormel for your entire family. Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Why rush around town for back-to-school shopping? Nationwide 90 FM is making it easy at our back-to-school fair. Come get your child measured for uniforms, check their shoe size, and purchase essentials right there on the spot. St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, Trelawney, St. Elizabeth. We've got everything in one place just for you. That's Saturday, August 9, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay. The Nationwide 90 FM Back-to-School Fair.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to Immigration Mondays on the Consumer Hour. As I said, we're taking your questions and your calls. The numbers are 630-937-124 and 618-8255. Otherwise, you can go on YouTube. If you have a question, please go ahead and ask either Opal or Nadine. And we have one from the Passport Live. He's asking Opal, can persons do the interview in the U.S. via Zoom?
The USCIS interview? No, I've never heard of that happening. I'm not sure if USCIS interview? No.
Well, unfortunately, sorry, Passport for Life, it seems that you can't do it through Zoom. You have to do it in person, as she says. But I also have some questions on this new renewal process in terms of the in-person interview. A lot of people, they tend to get nerves when they have to do something like this. What would you give in terms of recommendations and positively to have a positive experience in terms of the interview in your expectation? What should you avoid? What should you be upfront about? What you may want to keep closer to your chest?
Right. Just go there knowing you're going to tell the truth, and you don't have to volunteer information, but just make sure you don't make any misrepresentation whatsoever. So if you're asked something, you need to answer. You really need to speak up. And I know it might be, as I said before, a nervous and daunting task, but look at it this way. Just go and say that, you know what, even if I don't get it, you can always try again. So it doesn't make it a major mistake that a lot of people make. They think that they have to get it today. They have to get it today. So they go there and they lie. And they lie about something that they have done in the past. And when they do that, now there's a misrepresentation. Now you might need a waiver for that lie that you have just told. So might as well just be the truth. Just say, listen, if I get it, I get it. If I don't get it, one day I will get it. And that's a way to go about it. And I think my clients who go like that, they're just nervous because they look at it like, you know what, these people are not lawyers, they're not judges, they're not God. You're just going in there, speaking your truth. And if you get it, you get it.
Okay, so honesty remains the best policy. I understand we have Miss Beverly on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Beverly. You have a question?
Yes, I have two questions. First is if I want to renounce my green card, what steps do I need to take?
You want to renounce your green card? You want to give it back?
Yes.
Have you really thought long and hard? Have you done a consultation with an immigration attorney to see if maybe there's something else you could do, maybe to get your citizenship, so that way you don't have to give up your green card and then you're able to stay in your home country as long as you want? If you become a U.S. citizen, I don't know the reason.
I have thought about it, renouncing the green card and applying for a visiting visa.
Okay. All right. I still prefer, and I know a lot of our, people who are listening right now is thinking, why are you doing this? Because I can tell you this, there are people who have given it up and years later they regret it. But I have to make this disclosure that you can give the green card back. They will happily take it, by the way. You can just go to the U.S. Embassy. They will give you instructions on how to take it back. They will gladly take it. You're going to then have to file a DS-160 to apply for a visiting visa. And I have to tell you, there's no guarantee you will get the visiting visa. Don't ever think that because you gave up that green card that they have to give you a visiting visa. They don't. So you might end up not being able to travel again to the United States. So really think long and hard. I caution you to do a consultation. I don't care if it's with me, but choose an immigration attorney of your choice and get to see what other options there may be. I've spoken with clients who wanted to give up their green card, and we were able to do a work around it for them to keep it and still achieve their objective. So that's but if you're giving up your green card, you don't even need me. You just go to the embassy right now. They'll gladly take it from you. Then you're going to have to do what everybody else is doing and filing a DS-160 to apply for a visiting visa. And remember that the integrity fee is coming up, where you're going to have to pay $250 extra, especially if it's approved for you to enter the United States. Yeah. Oh, and one more thing. You're going to have to sign that form called an I-407. That's to give back your green card. I-407. You can go to the USCIS website and you'll find it, an I-407. My other listeners out there, don't listen to this. I don't want you signing this at all. Ever. Do ever give up your green card. So do not sign this form. But for this young lady, she wants to, so I'm telling her she can sign it. For other people, if you have stayed outside of Jamaica, stayed in Jamaica too long and you're traveling as a green card holder, no matter what, they cannot force you to sign that form. So do not ever sign it. Tell them that you reserve your right to an attorney. Don't sign that form. All right.
Okay, I have another question. So I need to make an appointment with the U.S. Embassy if I want to do that.
Correct, especially for your visiting visa. If you don't know how to do the visiting visa application process, you can contact our office. We can assist you with this.
And citizenship. Can I apply for U.S. citizenship here in Jamaica, or I have to be over there?
Right, you have to do a consultation, and let's do a consultation, please. That's what my recommendation to you would be. Just for me to see if you even qualify. I don't know how long you've had your green card. I don't know how long you've stayed in outside the U.S. So there's stuff that I need to find out from you.
Okay. All right. But I've had my green card for 10 years now. So, but as you suggest,
I know, but other than 10 years, I don't know. It sounds to me maybe you've had some traveling problem. But I don't want you to tell me all of this right now with everybody hearing. That's what I'm saying. I'm inviting you to do a consultation. I think in your case, it is well worth it. You have a lot of information that you need.
Okay.
All right, Miss Beverly, remember, do the consultation and give it some good thought. Giving up that green card, it's not likely you'll get it again. Well, I understand we have another caller on the line. Simone? Simone?
This is Erica.
Oh, Erica, go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Miss Nadine.
Good morning.
I would like to ask a question. An international student in Canada who has a study permit, can he study full-time online?
Well, you probably can study full-time online. What you want to find out is, are you interested in applying for a postgrad work permit once you've completed your studies?
Yes, he is.
Well, then you probably can't study full-time online because you need to check the requirements both for your program as well as for the postgrad work permit.
Oh, okay. You would have to, okay.
During COVID, yes, students could have studied online, but since, right, now it's only a certain percentage of your studies that can be done online. So he will need to make sure that he look at the details.
Okay, so he could, because he was saying that there was something I think on him permit that said hybrid, he can do full 50% online or 50% face-to-face, but somebody was saying no, he can't do it full-time.
I would recommend, because the details for the postgrad work permit has changed, so we would need to make sure that he's meeting the requirements for, it's not just when you're studying right now. If you're in Canada studying and then you want to apply for a postgrad, the postgrad work permit is the work permit you get once you've completed your studies. And you need to ensure that you will qualify. You don't want to spend 2 or 3 years studying and at the end of the day you don't qualify for your postgrad work permit. That would have been, in my opinion, a complete waste of your money if you're the one who is paying for his tuition. So again, please ensure that he meets the requirements for the postgrad work permit when he will complete his studies.
Okay,
very important, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms.
Okay, you're very welcome. And the passport life, I wish I could move back to Jamaica.
But in extension to that caller's question, in those circumstances, wouldn't the university actually assist you with the process?
I'm not going to tell you to rely on the university, Siobhan. The onus is on the applicant. So if you're an international student, based on the current rules, depending on when you started your course, immigration is going to be looking at what did you study?
Interesting.
Did the school qualify for the postgrad work permit? Were you a full-time student? And how much of the course was done online? Okay, so that's why I say it's very important for him to make sure, because I'm assuming it's her son, to make sure that he is meeting all the requirements now. You don't want to wait until you're finished and you apply and then your application is going to be refused.
That's good advice. Always dot your I's and cross your T's. Simone, you're on the line now. Good evening. Or good morning, rather.
Hi, good morning. To U.S. immigration lawyer, has there been an update on the DACA policy under Trump as it relates to one is on the program, but they are not able to travel with the driver's license anymore because they haven't gotten that, they can't get that special driver's license that is needed to travel?
Correct. They would, in order for you to travel on the DACA program, you would have needed to have that re-entry permit. So if you don't have that re-entry permit, please, that person should stay put, cannot leave. They have to have that I-131 approved.
Oh, okay. So nothing has changed, and they basically cannot travel.
Correct.
Has there been an update from the administration that relates what they're going to do?
No, we have not had any updates with the DACA.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We have another question from YouTube. It's coming from Andrea. Again, I believe this is to Nadine, or it could be to both of you, actually. Good morning. Can a green card holder travel from Jamaica to Canada, or is a Canadian visa needed?
A green card holder can travel to Canada without a Canadian visa. Okay, a Jamaican.
So traveling from Jamaica to
Canada,
okay.
You don't need a visa.
Well, let's see. I don't see any more questions here from YouTube, so I guess go again. So we'll take a quick break and come back again with your calls and questions from YouTube. Remember, the numbers are 630-937-124 and 618-8255.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is...
It's 9:30.
Truth is, HIV affects everyone. Truth is, avoiding care leads to a weaker immune system. That means you could get really sick. The truth is, the hardest pill to swallow isn't the medication. It's the problems that follow when you don't take them. Let's get through this together. Remain in care. You can live life to the fullest with HIV. And that's the truth. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
You better stop, drop, and listen up.
For all your fire loss prevention and industrial safety needs, go to National Safety Limited. They design, install, supply, and service fire alarm and suppression systems and fire extinguishers.
They also sell PPEs, that's personal protective equipment to keep you safe on the job. Plus, they're your source for Timberland safety shoes.
Visit their website at nationalsafety.com.jm and follow them on social at National Safety Limited to find out more.
National Safety Limited. Your safety is our concern.
Teach your kids smart money habits starting now. Open a student saving account on the spot. Enjoy financial literacy games and get budgeting tips just in time for the new school year. It's all at the nationwide 90FM Back to School Fair, where families get real value. Saturday, August 9, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay. It's the nationwide 90FM Back to School Fair.
Welcome back to Immigration Mondays on the Consumer Hour. We're talking immigration issues with U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Canadian immigration consultant Nadine Mahabir. Before we get into the questions again, just for those, a refresher, Nadine, your contact information for those who might have additional questions, and then over to you, Opal.
Thanks, Siobhan. For Nadine Mahabir, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1-416-249-5885. That's 1-416-249-5885. Our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Over to you, Ms. Opal.
Thank you, Nadine. So for Opal Lee, the phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That's 876-854-3599. In the United States, it's 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. You may also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Our handle is at FloJam Legal. That's FLO as in Florida, JAM as in Jamaica, and then legal, LEGAL. Over to you, Siobhan.
And I believe we have our next caller, O'Neill. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for Miss Nadine. My lining papers were stolen. So how do I apply for a new one?
Are you in Canada or outside Canada?
I'm outside Canada. I'm on the island.
Do you have a valid PR card?
No.
Okay, you need to have a consultation done, please.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so please contact our office and then we can discuss it further.
All right.
Okay,
no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, we're going to take a quick question from YouTube. Basic White is asking Opal, for a friend in the U.S., can the family in Jamaica help her look about her green card with us in Jamaica? Well, I should say with you in Jamaica, with you, Opal.
With me in Jamaica, I did see that, yes. Our office, we do have an office in the Dunrobin Plaza, so we can help you wherever. As a matter of fact, even if that person was on the continent of Africa, we can still assist with U.S. immigration needs. So no matter where the person is, we can still assist.
I see another question here from Mark Greensword. Ms. Nadine, Canada questions, how much PR applicants were already issued the 395K and how much more remained for the rest of the year?
Good morning. That's a great question. I'm sorry, I don't know. I have to look it up. I really don't know. So that one I'll have to look up for you. But Siobhan, there's a question also from Mark Greensword regarding the medical. So normally when you're requested to do your medical, it's valid for 1 year. So in most cases, if there's no other issues, then it means that your passport would be requested before that year is up, because you will need to travel to Canada before your medical expires. So if you did your medical, we're now in August, let's say you did it in July, you should be getting the request to do your passport before July of next year. Hopefully way before then.
Oh, and I see another question here from Patrick Clark. Oh, no, I believe that's what you just said. Or am I wrong? My son is medical in 2023. I did not contact the hospital until late 2024. How long does immigration take to cancel?
I don't understand that question, Mr. Clark. Because if your son did his medical in 2023, are you doing a sponsorship of the child, or what type of application are you doing? And again, the medical is valid for a year, so you should hear from Immigration Canada within a year. If you have not heard from them, you may contact them via the IRCC web form, or if you believe there are issues, you may contact our office for assistance. Thank you.
Okay, and Basic White is asking how much is the fee in Jamaica and US Opal?
Well, it's 185 US dollars. Things like around 26,000 Jamaican, but it's 185 US dollars for the visiting visa application fee.
And a very simple question, I'm sure you get this one a lot. How long should a green card holder be living in the USA before applying for their citizenship?
Okay, so that's a very good question too. It depends on how you have gotten your green card. For example, if you got it through marriage to a United States citizen and you're still married to that United States citizen, you're able to apply for your US citizenship after having that green card for 3 years. Of that 3 years, you have to have spent at least half of that time in the United States. It will only be 1.5 years within the United States, and none of your trips can be 6 months or over 6 months outside the United States. Now, if you got the green card through any other means, or maybe your child had filed for your sister or brother or parent or employment, and you would have to have your green card for 5 years. And of those 5 years, you have to have spent 2.5 years in the United States. Doesn't have to be consecutive. Just that when we add up all the times in versus out, you have spent at least 2.5 years in the US, and which works out to about 914 days from the last 5 years in the United States. And again, none of those trips. I always encourage people, do not spend 6 months or longer outside the United States. That might trigger you breaking the physical presence continuity, and you're going to have problems. I just did a consultation with somebody last week who had some issues with that. So don't spend 6 months in Jamaica or anywhere else as a green card holder.
A natural extension to that question is, though, what if, for example, a medical emergency or a family emergency requires that you spend an additional time outside of the United States? Is there any way for that to be communicated?
Right. So if you're going to be spending more than 6 months, by the way, there's ways to do this, because if it wasn't an emergency, let's just put that, and you knew that you wanted to or you needed to spend extended time outside the United States, you could have filed an I-131, which is a re-entry permit, which allows you to spend up to 2 years outside. But let's just say an emergency happened now, Siobhan, you're already out, an emergency happened, then yes, you can keep your evidence. Remember, if it's a life and death situation, and if you're outside the United States for reasons beyond your control, that's a burden, that's something that you can show when applying for your citizenship, because you can rebut the presumption that you did abandon your residence, or that you broken that continuity of residence. So yes, we have done it before where we've submitted medical records, but for that person, they still had to maintain their residence in the United States. So for example, continue to file taxes. If they had a lease agreement, they continue to pay their lease or rent, continue to maintain their bank accounts. Maybe they had a doctor in the US as well that they were doing telemedicine. So they have all those evidence. You still had your family members there, just basically showing that you still had your ties to the United States and you continued to maintain them. Maybe you had employment that you were still doing, and so we showed all those, maybe job letters, pay stubs. Maybe you were doing working from overseas, from Jamaica or wherever else. So if you can prove that you continue to maintain your residence in the United States and that your trip outside the United States, your extended stay, Siobhan, were for reasons beyond your control, you may be able to rebut that presumption and still get your citizenship.
Good to know. I understand we have Ludlow on the line.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Morning, Ludlow.
Good morning. I'd like to speak to Opal. And good morning to you, Opal.
Good morning.
Yes. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you clearly.
Hearing
Go
you.
ahead.
Good morning.
Okay. Yes. Why I called, I heard something similar to someone gave. It's not really an actual thing where they want to give up their green card. But in actual fact, the person was living overseas for over 11 years on a green card. And apparently was on the verge of applying for citizenship, but a relative of her passed and she had to take over the business at home in the Caribbean. She opted and got a 10-year visa, and it so happened that subsequently the visa expired. She went to renew her 10-year visa and was told that the visa was she was refused, and she is now without a 10-year visa, and she gave up her green card, and her husband is in the States. So I don't know if those situations can be reconciled or appealed. I didn't want to call her nationality because apparently there is something with her nationality. She was from originally, so they told her no, they're not accepting visa from that particular country or island. So I don't know if.
And I thank you so much. I thank you so much for this call, because I don't know if you can see the YouTube chats, but everybody in there is very upset, or most of them seem very upset about people giving up that green card. But what you basically state, you're basically saying what I was saying earlier, that be very careful, because there's no guarantee, right, that you're always going to get that visiting visa. And even if this person got the visiting visa, there's no guarantee it's always going to be renewed. For what this person will have to do, they're going to have to reapply now for the green card. You said she has a spouse in the United States. Maybe if the spouse is a United States citizen, they can reapply. Yes. Good for her that she does have a spouse who's a U.S. citizen. So maybe she can reapply for the green card if she want to now go back and try and get a green card again.
Yeah, just to tell you, the business, she had to take over the business. So apparently it interfered with her being out of the country, for an inordinate period. So I think that was why she opted for, but I believe it's to her detriment. Or I regret doing so. And I told her that.
Because there's ways about that. If you looked at what Siobhan asked me earlier about, people can just get there, because once you become a citizen, you can spend as long as you want, a U.S. citizen, you can spend as long as you want back in your home country, because you can have dual citizen. Well, it depends on the country you're from. For Jamaica, they do allow dual citizens. So even that person wanted to go ahead and, control their business or go back and work on their business, they could have secured their U.S. citizenship first. Okay. And then they could have gone back to Jamaica and spend running their business 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And then they would still be a U.S. citizen. So that person might need to do a consultation, and let's just see if maybe her spouse can refile for her so she can get a green card again.
I think it might be difficult based on the policies that they have for that particular country.
Okay, well, that's why maybe the person needs to do a consultation then. I understand.
All right. I would hope that I can give her your, details so she consults.
Right. I think you heard it before, right? And I think before we leave, I'll say it again, my contact info.
Okay, then.
Well, listeners, we're going to take another quick break and come back again with your calls and more questions.
your prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is...
It's 15 minutes to 10.
Start the school year healthy and ready. Bring the kids to the nationwide 90FM Back to School Fair for vision and dental checks, blood pressure and blood sugar tests, and even immunization support. It's peace of mind for parents and a confident start for students. Join Team Revolution on Saturday, August 9 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay. Don't miss the nationwide 90FM Back to School Fair.
Now, PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
You want to do your thing with your queen or your king.
Or I get a little frisky that make you flex risky.
PrEP, are you extra bucketed?
To help you stay HIV negative.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV. PrEP tablets available at your clinic from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by PowerTech Jamaica. Stock up on at least 3 days worth of water, canned goods, flashlight batteries, medication, and first aid supplies. Don't forget your battery-powered or hand-cranked radio and copies of important documents sealed in a plastic container. If the power goes out, stay calm. PowerTech has your back with Jamaica's most trusted, uninterruptible power supply systems. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by PowerTech Jamaica.
Welcome back to Immigration Mondays on the Consumer Hour, where we provide you the necessary immigration advice. We have, 13 minutes left, and I want to get some of these backlog of YouTube questions done, and I think this one stood out to me. Pauline Bihari is asking, good morning, can I travel on my sister's visa to the USA? We have the same name, only the year are different. And that one stood out to me because I'm assuming that is not legal.
Oh my God, you should see my face right now. What? So no, you can't travel on your sisters, your mother, your father, your best friend. No, just no, you can't do that. That's illegal, that's fraudulent. Even if you're twins. I go as far as saying even if you're a twin, you can't do that. You can't travel on somebody else's documents. No, the answer is no. Please, son, no.
And I think that's well said. If you're planning to do that, Paula, do not try to do it. It is dangerous, and you do not want to run afoul of U.S. immigration law if at any point in the future you want to have your own visa and to travel to the United States. Richard here is asking, good day, my wife is doing an I-130 filing for me and my 2 kids, but there is 1 letter missing from my address on my birth certificate. Will it cause any problems in the filing?
You know, I've never heard that question before. I've heard a letter is missing from the name or something on a birth certificate, never the address. I don't see that being an issue. And even if that does come up, they will have the opportunity to correct it at the RGD, to go ahead and ask for an updated. You get the opportunity, or you get the time to go ahead and amend it. But if it bothers you so much about the address on your birth certificate, then fine. But I really and truly don't see that affecting the I-130 filing.
Also, Basic White is asking you, Opal, what is the consultation fee for a person in the U.S. waiting on their 10-year green card?
All my consultation fees, they go to my website. So I won't even want to say it on air in terms of the fees, but if you go to my website, you'll see the consultation fees. It's www.flowjamlegal.com. You'll see it right there, and you can actually book the consults.
Okay, I'm going to squeeze in one more caller. We have Yolanda on the line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Nadine and
good morning.
Yolanda. Okay, my question is for Opalie. Okay, so Opalie, I really don't understand the 250 that will be going on if you're renewing your visa, because my visa will be expired come next month. And I'm hearing something about this 250. Can I get some more explanation on that?
You're confused as me and a lot of immigration practitioners right now because the administration have not really come forward and says the $250 is going to be paid when you're applying, or it's only when you are approved, or it's when you're filing. We don't have all of that here. So right now, I mean, I know none of my clients have been paying it, the $250, knock on wood, and I don't know who's listening. Don't let my clients know. Go to their interview and be told that they have to pay that $250. But for right now, let's just, continue to listen to Nationwide every Monday. As soon as there is an update, I will let you know. But for right now, if you don't get any news or anything that you have to pay it, just go ahead and just renew it. I don't think the $250 is going to go for everybody. I think it's only when it's approved, and because they want to make sure that when you do get this visa and you enter the United States, that you don't abuse it. You don't go there and work, or you don't extend your time. And then my thinking is that at the end, when your visa is expired, you can then apply to get that $250 return. That's what I'm thinking. And a lot of other immigration attorneys, that's what we're thinking. We're hoping it's not every single time you enter the U.S. you have to pay that $250, because that means if you enter the U.S. 10 times for the year, can you imagine having to pay that $250 10 times for the year? So I'm hoping that's not what it is, but I will let you know when I hear more.
So for now, just go and apply for just go and renew my visa.
Absolutely, you don't have to pay that $250 right now, for sure.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you so much, thanks.
You're welcome.
So remember to stay tuned, Yolanda. I'm sure she'll have an answer the next update we can find. I see Carol McPherson here. A question to you, Nadine. How long does divorce take to come through in Canada?
Good morning. I am not sure, but it really shouldn't take very long. You'd probably have to, again, go on the website and see, are you in Jamaica or are you in Canada?
She did not quite say.
You might have to go into one of the court's offices to find out how long it would take. And I've noted a few persons saying the U.S. medical is valid for 6 months. I'm not sure about U.S. immigration, but for Canada, the Canadian medical is normally valid for a year if you're applying for permanent residency.
And I see another I-130 question here from Lloyd Williams asking, how long does it take for approval for that visa for a minor child?
For a visiting visa, well, you will know right away if it's going to be approved. But I think this person maybe is an immigrant visa, so it depends. I would need more information. Is the pair, if it's an immigrant visa, is a parent a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident? So we would need more information.
Okay, so remember, you can contact Opal if you have any additional questions afterwards. I see here from DMK Brown. Good morning, Opal. My mother filed for me while I was in Jamaica. Now I moved to Canada. Can I continue the process from there, or do I have to go back to Jamaica for the interview?
So absolutely, you can continue the process there. When the visa number becomes available, if you're still in Canada, you can do either two things. You can ask for it to be transferred to the consulate in Canada, or you can just simply go back to Jamaica to do the interview. A lot of people just up to just go back there when the time comes, assuming you're in Canada lawfully, because if you're not, that's going to be a big problem. So assuming that you have that option, because sometimes it does take a while, and the consulates have basically said they don't have to transfer the file to another consulate, and it may take some time for them to do that. So if it's not a big deal, you're on vacation, just go visit Jamaica, beautiful, your hometown, and just do the interview there. If it's your mother filing for you and you're an adult and you're single, it takes about 9 years anyway, thereabouts, before an immigrant visa becomes available. And if you're married, it's going to take at least maybe 14, 15 years. So we're talking about years down the line. We don't know where you will be at that time.
I see a follow-up here. Carol McPherson, she's one who asked the divorce question. Nadine, she's saying it's not for her. She's asking for someone, and the person is in Canada.
They would have to contact the court's office where they submitted the application to see how long it would take.
Okay, so there you go, Carol. Just pass that information along to your friend. I see someone here, Grosso, asking, my father just became a citizen. How long after can he file for me? The person says they're 38, male, unmarried. And then they ask further, how long after can they file for their family? And what if I am married? How does it go for my father filing for the family?
So here's the thing: if the father did not have to be a U.S. citizen to file for you. You said you're unmarried. He should have filed for you the minute. Because as a matter of fact, green card holders is one of the weirdest things. Green card holders filing for adult children is actually faster than U.S. citizens filing for adult children. And we're assuming that adult children is unmarried. So if that father had filed for you the minute he got that green card, maybe more than 5 years ago, because if he's getting his citizenship, I'm going to assume he has been a green card holder for maybe 5 years or more, unless he got it through marriage. He could have been maybe getting ready right now to migrate to the United States, because it only took about 8.5 years for green card holders. It takes 9 years now. If he has not started the filing and he's just going to file, it takes 9 years. And if you should get married, you want to add another 6 years to that, because for context, for right now they're at July 2016 for U.S. citizens filing for adult children who are unmarried, and if you're married, they're only at August 2011.
Okay.
So you'll see it's a difference of 5 years.
Interesting. We have 4 minutes left. Let me see if I can squeeze in 2 more questions. Desmond Meda is asking, good morning. My name is Tommy. I have a trip planned for Jamaica. He is a U.S. citizen, so I was planning to use my Jamaican passport to enter the country, but his wife is advising against this. Is she right?
No, she's wrong. When you're leaving the U.S., you give them your U.S. passport. But when you're entering Jamaica, when you present yourself at customs, it's up to you. You can still use your Jamaican passport, because some people do it to get the the allowance, the duty-free allowance, and so that's fine. So it's really and truly a personal preference. But what I will tell you, don't think just because you gave them your Jamaican passport and at the consul, when you're at the when you're checking in to Jamaica and you're at immigration and you give them your Jamaican passport, don't think that when you enter the United States with your U.S. passport, you're going to lose your U.S. citizenship. That is false. That is not true.
Okay, and Patrick Rowe, let's go as fast as possible. Patrick Rowe, how can you know if someone was a citizen when they filed for a married child, and could the application and process have been accepted, although it won't be valid in the end?
How you know if the person was a U.S. citizen? You ask the person who filed for you if they're a U.S. citizen. That's the easiest way.
Okay, quick and easy answer. And Jelly's asking, good morning, Miss Opal. How long does it take to get a new green card after renewal?
All right, so yes, so that's very tricky too, because I have done I-90s. By the way, that's a form for you to renew your green card. And I've seen some of them get their new green card in a couple of weeks, couple of months, whereas you have others that are waiting for a year or 2 years. But the good thing is, once you submit it, you get your receipt within about 2 or 3 weeks. And with that receipt, it extends the validity period of your green card. So you're still able to travel, still able to work. All you need is the older green card and that original receipt that shows your status has been extended. But usually it takes, maybe about 1 year to 2 years. But a lot of my clients have been getting it back within months.
Thank you for that information, Opal. And it seems we're almost out of time. And in the few seconds I said that we have left to us, do you want to again extend your contact information to those who have follow-ups for you, and then you afterwards, Nadine?
Absolutely. Thank you again. So Opal Lee, phone number in Jamaica, 876-854-3599. That's 876-854-3599. In the United States, 954-358-2020. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at FlowJam Legal. FlowJamLegal. Over to you, Nadine.
Thanks, Opal. For Nadine Mehabir, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1416-249-5885. And our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Thank you, and have a great week, everyone.
And thank you for joining us for the Immigration Mondays on the Consumer Hour. I thank you, all our YouTubers and callers, for this morning. And thanks to you, Nadine and Opal, for joining us and providing us with such excellent advice. Cliff Hughes is next.
That was the Consumer Hour.
Nationwide 90 FM.